Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a question I have from inside of our members lounge. And this question says, well, it's titled, FA who leans avoidant before/during relationships, but swings heavily anxious after. So this individual's question, and this is what I'm going to explain and talk about in this video specifically, is I'm an FA who tends to mostly lean avoidant before and during a relationship, yet suddenly swings anxious after a breakup. After a breakup, I definitely go into the AP freeze mode of being unable to move on because I'm still hoping to get back together with my ex. I'm pretty sure it's because I feel like my avoidance is what caused the breakup rather than actual incompatibility, feeling mistreated, or anything else out of my control. Thus, I feel an impulse to cling harder, although I tend to hide that from the other person, it says in brackets, in order to not let the relationship die over nothing but my own self-sabotage. Do other FAs experience this? Does it mean that I lean anxious avoidant or I'm a perfectly balanced combination? So I love this question, and I feel like probably quite a few FAs will be able to relate to this. Now, what I want to start off by saying is that the subconscious mind gets its needs met in the present, but when it can't get its needs met in the present, it gets its needs met through like fantasies of future or memories of past. And this is why sometimes like when people are going through funny phases in life where they're really not getting needs met in some form, they'll really like spend a lot of time in their imagination more so, or sometimes maybe they'll go into like really deep nostalgic memories and like sort of muddle through the past all the time and really focus on the past. And this is basically a symptom of the mind. And these things are not bad per se. If they're like mutually exclusive, where like you're so focused on the past that you don't even show up in the present, or you're so focused on fantasies of the future that you don't show up in the present and take action, then obviously those can become problematic. But it's normal for the human mind to have phases of going through past memories and becoming nostalgic, or have phases of going through, future potential possibilities and spend time there. And honestly, sometimes it's actually really good because sometimes reflecting on the past is an opportunity for deep inner reflection and introspection, and can bring up certain memories to reflect on. And thinking about the future can help you sort of take these visualizations and fantasies and ground them into reality. It can help you sort of like move forward in your life. So those things are not bad or good, just to be super clear, but sometimes they're giving us really important pieces of feedback about our needs, quite honestly. So the reason I'm saying this is because sometimes when a person is in a relationship and then wounds or core triggers are sort of popping up, what can happen if they have an avoidant side is they're in a relationship, a lot of those triggers are coming up, so they're pushing away as a subconscious strategy to cope. Now, over time, if there's enough discomfort coming up from those triggers, the subconscious mind basically makes decisions from like consciously plus subconsciously where it perceives there to be more benefits than drawbacks. In other words, if the needs being met from the romantic relationship or let's pretend that there are 8 out of 10 you feel fulfilled, but maybe you're being triggered every day by those core wounds and those things sort of being, maybe your partner is a catalyst for bringing those things up inside of you. And maybe the pain becomes a 9 out of 10. Well, then over time, what can happen is the subconscious mind goes, okay, this is too much. We see more drawbacks than benefits here. So we actually now see more good than bad in leaving the relationship instead of staying. And so this can cause that deactivating side to push somebody away. And then once that's happening and the partner is no longer the catalyst for those wounds being brought up. So core wounds could be things like feeling like you can't trust, feeling like you'll be betrayed, feeling like, whatever it might be that's FA, right? I'm unworthy, I'm unloved, I'm unseen, I'm unheard, I'm unimportant, I don't matter. Like there's quite a few trapped, helpless, powerless, right? If those things are coming up, then when the person's away, you can think of it as like the catalyst for the triggers being away. And now what happens is the subconscious mind starts like focusing more on the unmet needs. And if the person's now distant from you, you see the void of unmet needs way more than you see the triggers, because the triggers aren't being pushed on and touched all the time any longer. And now what can happen is this shift starts to take place, where now you suddenly shift back to your anxious side. And if there's some sort of recognition available to you that, hey, there was a lot of wounds being touched inside of me, and actually the person wasn't so bad, they actually treated me quite fairly and quite okay, then the mind can get really focused on the unmet needs. And then, because the mind, and this is really important, is so like survival oriented, it's always trying to get its needs met in the fastest way possible, not necessarily the best way possible. So that when what actually ends up happening from there forward is then the mind goes, ooh, that person, it was the fastest representation of many needs being met at the same time. And then the reason I told you that thing way at the beginning about the brain getting its needs met in fantasies of the future or memories of the past, then the mind can start fantasizing or nostalgically remembering the past. And because we may not be able, sorry, because we may not be able to reach out to that person directly or have them back in our lives immediately or whatever it might be, the mind tends to ruminate there. And that can be that feeling of that shift from the avoidance side, where all those triggers and stuff are coming up, causing to push away as a strategy for protection, to then, oh, those things are gone. Now I'm focused on the needs part. Oh my goodness, I have so many unmet needs. Oh my gosh, I'm going to ruminate about that as a strategy to feel like those needs are being met. Because if you think about it really carefully, when you start thinking about your needs being met, and oh, that time we did this thing, oh, what if we did this in the future, you're feeling something. That thinking in that way and pulling up those memories are containers for emotion. So now feelings come up with that. So now your subconscious is almost like getting the next closest thing to the actual reality of the present needs being met. And in fact, sometimes that version seems to be safer for the subconscious mind. So this is why it's often happening. What you can do about it, to be quite honest, is one of the best things you're going to do, period, is if you are stuck in a relationship or stuck on a past relationship, do the How to Heal from the Breakup course inside PDS. It's basically all about recognizing that when we're trying to heal from a breakup and move on, we usually have some really profound unmet needs. And when we can create strategies to get those needs met in our own life and to advocate for those needs from others, it's very helpful. There's 3 other major components I won't go into that have to do with trait equilibration, that have to do with, reprogramming some beliefs we might make about ourselves because of the breakup, and sort of rebalancing our one-sided perception about the breakup, and understanding sort of like what we can pull away from it and take away from it. And I'm not going to get into all that in this video. But if you want to do a deep dive into that, you can check that course out. We do have a link to all the courses on the course page and the membership pass in the description box below, so you can check that out. But hopefully this video really answers that question. So really fantastic question from this individual. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.